Hi, it's Candice Quinn with Contract Tag. So you're getting ready to interview for a new job, but you have no idea what questions you're supposed to ask the employer to actually get some information from them. Am I right? Maybe you're miserable where you are. Maybe you're desperate to get out. Maybe the recruiter just called you and it sounded like an interesting opportunity. But here's the thing, I've seen way too many attorneys jump from one opportunity to another without actually knowing what the new opportunity was and if it was going to be right for them. That's why the key to a good interview is asking the right questions so that you get valid information about the new position. If you're only focused on impressing the hiring manager, then you're not going to get the data that you need to evaluate the opportunity. You need to figure out if this place is going to be a better opportunity or just a different flavor of dysfunction. So today, I'm going to give you 3 questions that cut through the BS that employers always want to sell you during the interview process. These 3 questions will help you get to the real information that you need to properly evaluate. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Number 1. Can you walk me through what a typical week in this position would look like? Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a really basic question, but hear me out. The way the interviewer answers this question will give you a lot of data to use, a lot of data. It forces them to get very specific because you're not asking them about culture or work-life balance. Those are both buzzwords that they can spin any way that they want. When you ask about concrete details about the position and what it will do on a daily basis, that's going to give you some actual measurable data. So what do you listen for in the answer to this question? Well, are they being vague? Can they even answer it? Does it seem like they know what this position does? If they can't describe a typical week, that's a red flag. It either means that there is no typical week or they have no idea what they want this position to do. What hours are they mentioning? If they're saying you'll wrap up by 6 or 7, well, that probably means 7 or 8, right? Listen for the soft-pedaled expectations. Are they talking about constant firefighting, phrases like fast-paced, always something new, or no 2 days are ever the same? Those can all mean that you'll be drowning in reactive work with no chance to get ahead. Do they mention any actual strategy or proactive work? Is it all putting out fires or just reacting to whoever yells the loudest? And if it's an in-house role, will you have any control over your workload or what type of work you're doing? Are you just going to be an order taker for the business? And if it's a firm, are they talking about partner level work or just grunt work? Are you going to be building real skills or just doing document review? These questions reveal if they thought through what they actually need from the role or if they're just using some level of the job description to get a body in the seat. Okay. Question number 2, what happened to the last person in this role? This is a question that most attorneys are too afraid to ask, but don't be. You need to know, is this a new role? Is this a backfill? Why did the person leave? Did they move up within the firm or company? Or did they leave for a different opportunity? If so, what was that opportunity? You need to know why this position is open, and a good employer is going to respect you for asking that question. So what are you listening for exactly? Well, did the person get promoted? If so, that's a really good sign. It means there's actual growth potential at the company and people aren't just stagnating there. Did they leave for another opportunity? Well, that's not a red flag on its own. That's normal. People do that all the time. But you do need to probe a little. What kind of opportunity was it? If it sounds like they made a completely lateral move or a backwards move, that could be a red flag. If they left for a competitor or a completely different practice area, that also could be a red flag. Did they decide to pursue other interests? If so, that could really be a red flag. Did they burn out? Did they change careers entirely? Maybe they even got fired or rage quit. You need to know. If the position was newly created, then you need to ask some questions about that too. Is this position created because of growth or because of overflow where they're dumping work no one else wants to do on this new poor person? Are they hesitating or being really weird? That's a major red flag. If they can't give you a straight answer about basic turnover, something that every company has, then what else are they hiding? And here's the follow-up that really matters the most. How long was the person in this role? If people are cycling through the position every 12 to 18 months, that's a red flag. because then you're looking at a systemic problem, not just one employee. Either the role is a meat grinder, the boss is bad, or the job was misrepresented from the start. And listen, no matter how desperate you are to move into a new position and leave your old one, you don't want to jump into one that's going to be worse. You'll only be trading one nightmare for another nightmare. And question number 3, what does success in this position look like in the first 6 months and in the first year? This question is your insurance policy against scope creep, unrealistic expectations, and setting you up to fail. You're making them define on the record what the expectations for this role are. And trust me, you want this clarity before you accept the position. So what are you listening for? Are their expectations realistic? Is the first one. If they're expecting you to overhaul an entire process in the first 90 days while also firefighting all of the current contract issues, well, that's not really setting you up for success. Do they have clear metrics for success, or is it just a we'll know it when we see it feel? Vague success metrics means you'll never succeed in their eyes. Is the focus on outputs or outcomes? Do they care about you closing 100 deals, or do they care about you revamping a process so that it works better perpetually? One is going to lead to burnout and the other one is going to lead to success. Is there a learning curve built into this role? No matter how experienced you are, every organization is different and there are going to be different processes. You do need time to ramp up on those processes. Has the hiring manager thought through what the ramp up process will look like for you? And for firm roles, are they describing a real path to partnership or just a talk track? For in-house, are you a department of no, or are you actually a strategic business partner? Do they actually measure you on legal risk management or just how fast you turn contracts around? The answer to this question will tell you if they even know what they want from this role. If the hiring manager can't articulate what success looks like, well, you're just set up to fail from the start. Here's the reality. A job interview isn't actually about proving that you're qualified for the role, because you are. It's about you gathering intel to make sure that this is the best opportunity for you. These 3 questions give you the real story behind the position, behind the role, and help you evaluate whether or not it's right for you at that point. What does a typical work week look like? Well, that reveals what you'll actually do day to day. What happened to the last person in the role? Well, that reveals if it's a revolving door or if there's some systemic problem with the position. What does success look like in the first 6 months and the first year? That reveals how well they've thought out this position and if you can actually meet the metrics that they've established for success. Now, you might be worried that asking these difficult questions makes you look difficult or makes you look not enthusiastic enough, but here's the truth. Any employer worth working for will respect you for asking the tough questions. If they get defensive or dodgy when you ask the questions, well, it probably wasn't a good fit to begin with. It's your sign to run because you've worked way too hard to get stuck in another position that's going to be a dead end or make you miserable. Remember, you're not desperate. You're a lawyer evaluating an opportunity, just like they would expect you to do in a deal or for a client. You are just doing it for yourself. If you're considering making a move, it's time to be a bit selfish and get strategic. I developed a lateral move decision matrix to help you evaluate new opportunities against your current opportunity. For a limited time, I'm offering it to you for free. The link is in the QR code or in the pinned comment or the description below. And if you're just stuck in your career and you're not sure what to do, let's chat. Go ahead and schedule a free call with me. The link is in the QR code or the pinned comment and description below. And let's chat about your current position and where you're stuck and where you're looking to go. You've got this. Now go into that interview, ask those tough questions, and really evaluate the position. I'll see you in the next one, hackers. Bye.